Our story kicks off in a high school during PE class. Once it wraps up, the students are already complaining about having English next. Talk about a mood killer, especially after getting all sweaty. A girl makes her way to the trash bin to toss something out. While she's there, she notices a bag with a keychain attached to it. She picks it up, holds it close to her chest, and blushes, whispering about how lucky she is, because apparently finding your crush's trash is the new meet cute. But hold on, how did we even get here? What's actually happening? To understand that, we need to rewind and dig into the full story. It's May 5th, and we're inside an English classroom. The teacher calls on Kurumi to stand up and start translating. She grabs her notebook and rises from her seat. Ah, yes, the timeless tradition of embarrassing yourself in front of the whole class. Kurumi starts translating smoothly and quickly. Her pace catches everyone off guard. The students stare in disbelief, wondering how on earth she's this good at English translation. Among them, one particular boy looks especially blown away by Kurumi's abilities. Watching the whole scene unfold, the boy's face turns red with admiration. He knows his idol, Kurumi, is exactly what he imagined. Dignified, calm, and on top of everything else, completely stone-faced, which he finds incredibly attractive. In his heart, he confesses to himself that he loves absolutely everything about her. After Kurumi's stellar performance, all the girls crowd around her as soon as class ends. They shower her with compliments, gushing about her amazing pronunciation, and begging her to tutor them. She mentions she has to head home today, but promises to teach them tomorrow. The girls light up with joy, while our boy quietly thinks he'd love to learn from her too. Kurumi assures them she'll teach them tomorrow, and the other girls eagerly confirm they want to join. That's when our MC raises his hand, blushing invisibly and nervous as hell, and admits he wants to join too since his English is pretty rough. The second those words leave his mouth, he suddenly becomes everyone's main focus. Realizing all eyes are glued to him, he completely chokes. Not a single word escapes his lips. He's overwhelmed while the girls gawk at him in surprise. All he can manage is saying he's not saying anything at all. Inside, he reflects that whenever this happens, he just shuts down because he doesn't have the guts to stand out in front of a crowd. During this internal crisis, he keeps his head down, thinking about Kurumi, who's the complete opposite of him. And he deeply admires her for that. The main reason he looks up to Kurumi so much traces back to what he witnessed during the entrance ceremony. He could barely trust his own eyes, half convinced it was all a dream. Kurumi stood before the entire school with perfect posture, delivering her speech without a hint of nervousness. What impressed him even more was how much she resembled his favorite character, Sumitan, whose keychain he always carries with him. Once when he accidentally turned the keychain toward Kurumi, he quickly hid it before she could spot it. In his mind, he thought it was a close call because if anyone ever saw that keychain, they'd definitely think he was some kind of weirdo. He reminds himself to keep the keychain hidden at all costs. Back to the present in class, Kurumi tells the other girls she's heading home now. She says goodbye and leaves the classroom. Our poor guy wants Kurumi to actually know he exists. Later, while searching for his PE clothes, he can't find them anywhere. At first, he figures he left them in the locker room, but then he remembers bringing them to class. After looking around a bit more, he discovers that instead of his clothes, there's only garbage sitting in their spot. He's shocked, realizing he must have accidentally thrown his clothes away instead of the trash. He leaves the classroom to hunt for them, muttering to himself about how he wanted to go home early today. But now this mess has completely derailed his plans. As he makes his way toward the trash area to search for his clothes, he spots Kurumi walking past from there. Seeing her, he completely panics, his face burning bright red. As he watches her walk away, he can't help thinking how beautiful she looks, even just walking, radiating with a glow that feels almost otherworldly. In his heart, he tells himself this might be his moment. Maybe he should talk to her right now. But just as our guy is about to make his move, a few boys bump into him and start messing with him. They sarcastically apologize while making fun of him. One of them points out that he's in their class and then asks for his name. Hearing this, he's actually happy that his classmates want to know his name. Ah, yes. High school, where people can sit next to you for months and still treat you like part of the furniture. He tries to tell them his name, but at the same time he noticed that Kurumi has already walked pretty far ahead. His classmates laugh and say, it doesn't even matter what his name is. Realizing this, our poor guy feels even more crushed. They laugh, mocking why anyone would even bother knowing the name of someone as introverted as him. Embarrassed, he nods along. But deep down he thinks he will never really fit in with his class since not a single person even knows his name. In his heart, he feels that the girl he thinks about constantly probably doesn't even know he exists. He tells himself that whenever he tries to talk to anyone, he just screws it up. He has zero confidence. He thinks there's nothing special about him at all, and realizing this leaves him deeply depressed. From childhood until now, no one has ever played with him. His classmates always excluded him, calling him slow and introverted, and they never even invited him to class gatherings. As he walks home, he sees his classmates chatting together and grows even more upset. He thinks to himself that nobody gives a damn about him while the rest of the class talks and hangs out among themselves. Some kids get friend groups, others get character development arcs. Lost in his worries, he sits there troubled when suddenly he hears a voice. Kurumi is standing behind him, calling out to him. The moment he lifts his head and sees Kurumi, he freezes in complete shock, blushing hard, stunned that she's actually standing there. No words come out of his mouth. The only thought racing through his heart is that Kurumi actually spoke to him. And with a smile on her face, no less. And just like that, social anxiety triggers a full system reboot. He still hasn't recovered from the shock when she pulls something out of one of her shopping bags and hands it to him. Seeing this, he grows even more confused, wondering what she's doing. Then it hits him. She's giving him a new PEE uniform. Kurumi explains that she overheard in class that he'd lost his uniform, so she brought him a new one. She adds that the shop lady had accidentally opened it, and she didn't know what to do with it, so she decided to give it to him. Hearing this, Fujimori blushes even harder, finally snapping back to the reality. He's still in shock that Kurumi is actually talking to him. And with such warmth, too. Just then, one of his classmates from earlier notices Kurumi and waves at her, calling out. He wonders out loud what she could possibly be doing with such a gloomy nerd, then offers that if she's heading home, she should walk with him instead. In that moment, Kurumi looks at him and asks who he is. Hearing this, he freezes in shock, unsure how to even respond, while his friends standing behind him laugh because Kurumi just shut him down so bluntly. Delivering him a sharp rejection, she turns to our MC and tells him she'll see him again. She starts walking away, and behind her our boy, blushing and nervous, tries to say something, but the words won't come. Kurumi pauses and asks what he wants to say, and he's stunned to see everyone watching him, unsure what to do. In his mind flashes the image of the entrance ceremony when Kurumi's presence had outshone everyone in the hall, making everyone else seem invisible. He had longed for her attention, yet he thinks of himself as just a plain boy with nothing special, someone no one ever finds interesting. But meeting her now makes him feel he needs to change himself if he wants to get closer to her. Holding the PE uniform in his hands, he finally thanks Kurumi, though the words come out shaky and nervous, barely escaping his lips. Baby steps. First speak, then maybe one day make eye contact. Hearing this, Kurumi feels a small flutter inside, then turns toward him with a calm expression and replies, "You're welcome, Fujimori-kun," calling him by his name. After saying this, she turns and walks away, but her words hit him like an arrow straight to the heart. He can't understand what's happening to him or why he's feeling this way. Standing there, Fujimori can only shout in his heart that he loves Kurumi deeply, and that his happiness knows no limits. Meanwhile, a little later, Kurumi reaches home. As soon as she enters through the door, she takes off her shoes and hums softly to herself. Still in that mood, she opens her bedroom door. Upon entering, she announces that she's home. Her room seems to tell a strange story about her, one that perhaps reflects a side of her personality quite different from what anyone usually sees. As soon as she enters her room, the first word that slips from her mouth is Fujimori. Looking around, nearly everything in her room somehow resembles or reminds her of him in some way. Is it a healthy crush or an obsession? The line is definitely blurry. Then she takes out his PE clothes from her bag, which she'd probably hidden there. Holding them close to her chest, she blushes deeply and tells herself that he looked the best today. She takes out her diary and writes the date at the top, noting that today she spoke to Fujimori for the first time. Blushing deeply, she records the size of his shoes, his clothes, and every little detail she can remember. Once she's written everything down, she feels extremely happy that Fujimori even thanked her. Some people keep diaries, others keep FBI files disguised as diaries. She places her hand on the pictures covering her wall and tells herself that she did a very good job today. She feels happy that she spoke to Fujimori for the first time, but knows she must be careful so that her true self isn't revealed to anyone. Holding Fujimori's clothes, she thinks she must act cautiously. Later, looking at the keychain, she thinks to herself that it belongs to her favorite character. Smiling a little strangely while thinking about him, she becomes slightly serious and goes to the mirror in her room. She tells herself that she's pleased he likes the character, even after all these days. She lies down on her bed, surrounded by plushies that look strikingly like Fujimori. Hugging one close, she whispers to herself that she really likes him. Some girls collect makeup. Kurumi collects unsettling levels of emotional evidence. Meanwhile, on the other side, Fujimori walks home with a wide smile. His heart is light and his steps are faster. For him, the greatest joy today is that she spoke to him. She knows his name. The thought alone fills him with overwhelming happiness. It's always the bare minimum that feels like a fairy tale. A few girls in class are discussing their group project. In the corner, a girl sits alone. The others whisper about her, saying no one would want to join her group. She hasn't been invited by anyone. They recall that once their bond with her was good, but now she feels completely different from the girl they used to know. And just then, the morning alarm rings. The sound jolts Kurumi awake. As she rises, she takes a long, deep breath. She lies in her bed, surrounded by plushies that look like Fujimori, telling herself it was nothing more than a bad dream. At school, Fujimori sits at his desk, lost in thoughts of his last interaction with Kurumi, how for the first time they spoke for 2 whole minutes. Just then, a friend passes by, greets him cheerfully, and brags about scoring high in a game. 2 minutes of conversation, and someone's basically planning a wedding. But he notices Fujimori still looks distant, lost in thought. With a smile, the friend asks what's wrong. Deep inside, however, Fujimori is thinking only of Kurumi. Seeing this, the friend grows puzzled and quietly walks away. Meanwhile, Fujimori keeps replaying that moment in his mind, determined that today he'll talk to her again, this time for a few more seconds. And just then, Kurumi walks into the classroom. Seeing her step inside, Fujimori feels a jolt. She's really here. All his focus shifts to her. He tells himself he should start a conversation, his heart whispering that Kurumi looks beautiful as always. Gathering courage, he rises from his seat and calls her name. He tries to speak, but the rest of the girls quickly surround her. His voice doesn't reach her. With a gloomy aura clinging to him, he slips back into his seat, thinking that once again he couldn't summon the confidence. He sinks deeper into sadness, muttering that he got carried away for nothing. Meanwhile, Kurumi takes her seat as she brushes her hair behind her ears. It becomes clear she's wearing an earphone. A small secret smile forms as she plays a recording. 2 minutes and 18 seconds of Fujimori's voice from the day they first spoke. She listens closely, each word filling her with a strange comfort, her cheeks warm as she blushes, replaying his lines again and again. Fujimori sneaks a glance at Kurumi, blushing as he thinks about how cool she looks. Just then, a classmate steps in front of him and smirks, asking if he likes her. Fujimori quickly shakes his head and insists it's nothing like that. Kurumi is just a perfect ideal in his eyes, nothing more. He adds that he's only a little curious about her. He takes a deep breath, realizing Kurumi is nothing like he had imagined. She's different in ways that surprise him. In his heart, he admits he likes her confidence. Quietly, he resolves that tomorrow he'll definitely greet her with a good morning. He thinks to himself that this time he won't mess it up. School ends. As students begin heading home, the teacher asks Kurumi to lock the classroom since the person on duty is absent. As she accepts, Kurumi thinks she is the one who is desired and she will act accordingly. Confidence 110%. Reality still locking doors. In that moment, her mind drifts to a memory tied to Fujimori. She thinks that from that very day until now, he has remained her ideal. In her heart, she thanks him. Once the classroom empties, Fujimori stands near the cupboard, practicing how to say good morning and how to approach Kurumi. He tries several versions, but none of them feel right. He struggles to find the perfect way to speak to her, practicing good morning like it's a UN peace negotiation. While he's rehearsing, a classmate walks in and asks what he's doing. Fujimori admits he's practicing greetings because he wants people to see him differently, but he leaves out the part about Kurumi. He explains that he's afraid if he says something weird, the class might tease him for it. The classmate reminds him it's getting late and they should head home. Fujimori follows. On the way, he asks where they're going on Sunday. His friend replies they should meet at the station to do it at 10 o'clock. With that, the two of them leave. But the strangest part? Behind that very cupboard, Kurumi might have been hiding, holding her phone, quietly blushing. After Fujimori leaves, she steps out, stops the recording on her phone, and replays it. The exact words he had spoken just moments ago. She blushes deeply. Normal people scroll social media. Kurumi scrolls through Fujimori audio archives. Once home, she lies down in bed and listens to the recording again. Every phrase makes her feel good. She even starts practicing what she'll say next time. how she'll tell Fujimori that he's really funny. The next day, Kurumi walks up to him in class and says exactly that, he's really funny. Hearing this, Fujimori panics, blushes, and thanks her. Kurumi calmly adds that he should say hi to her again sometime. 2 words, socially malfunctioning. His friend comes over and says he can tell Fujimori is serious. He then asks for his help with something, promising in return to help Fujimori talk to girls. He agrees and tells him to meet at the station on Sunday. All the while, Kurumi has secretly recorded the entire conversation. Later, she listens to it on her phone, headphones on, replaying every word. Sunday arrives and Fujimori is out with his friend Yamamura. When the friend casually reveals that 10 girls have confessed to him, Fujimori is stunned, unable to grasp how that could even happen. Yamamura assures him that he'll teach him all the tricks. Just then, someone in a mascot outfit approaches and hands Fujimori a treat, which he accepts with a polite thank you. Kurumi is actually hidden inside the mascot costume. Meanwhile, his friend tells Fujimori to calm down a little. After that, Fujimori picks up all the newly released comic books and thanks his friend. He tells him how happy he is that his friend took so much time for him, even bringing a cafe treat along. His friend explains that he had the time because he hasn't replied to any of the girls' messages. Hearing this, Fujimori says he wants to hear more about it. Then Yamamura starts talking, saying that even today, 3 girls confessed to him, and Fujimori is stunned as he checks his friend's phone. Meanwhile, Kurumi stands nearby like an undercover agent, carefully listening and understanding everything being said. Yamamura mentions that he should post on social media, and Fujimori tells his friend that he hopes one day he will become Kurumi's friend. Then Yamamura reveals his secret plan to win a girl's heart. He should show off. Hearing this, Fujimori is a little surprised. His friend adds that he should present himself confidently in front of any girl, showing what he's good at. If everything goes according to plan, it will be perfect. Fujimori is so intrigued that he starts writing down these tips for himself, while Kurumi sits nearby, quietly observing their conversation like a spy. Sitting there, she thinks to herself that she needs to learn everything about Fujimori's favorites. Just then, his friend suggests that he should create a little gap using his usual image. Fujimori doesn't understand this at first and doubts he's good at anything. After thinking it over, he admits he's pretty good at gaming, though Yamamura points out that this might not count as a real gap. As they're talking, they hear the voices of classmates entering the cafe. They immediately spot Kurumi, and Fujimori panics. Just then, a classmate of Kurumi's approaches her and tries to act cool while talking, while the other classmates call out from behind, telling him to leave her alone, because nothing's cooler than third-wheeling your own crush. Fujimori is equally surprised to see Kurumi there, while her classmate continues chatting with her, trying to impress her. Watching closely, Fujimori realizes that this is the same intimidating guy he had met outside school last time. The classmate invites her to go shopping and keeps offering different things, and each of his words makes Fujimori feel uneasy. He ducks down, hiding his face so no one can see him. He knows that if someone like him speaks up, it could cause a lot of trouble. Still, seeing the boy talk to Kurumi troubles him deeply. He wishes he could also become her friend, though he worries she might push him away. Stealth level. Emotionally unstable ninja. He tells Yamamura to leave, but Yamamura asks Fujimori if he's really going to go now, pointing out that Kurumi is right there and he could talk to her. This is his chance. Fujimori replies that Kurumi is here to enjoy her time properly. If someone like him approaches her now, it could annoy her. Meanwhile, the boy is still talking to Kurumi, teasing her a lot, and Fujimori thinks that maybe she doesn't want to talk to him. He knows that if he tries to say anything to her, his gloomy presence could cause trouble. On the other side, Kurumi quietly silences the boy, telling him to give it a rest already. When polite rejection doesn't work, cold silence does. Gathering his courage, Fujimori suddenly stands up and turns around to shout that he doesn't think that's okay. His friend Kurumi, and even the boy nearby are all surprised by what he just said. At that moment, the boy recognizes Fujimori, walks up to him, and mocks him, laughing while asking what he means by all this. Watching him, Fujimori panics, unable to get any words out, but he managed to say again that he doesn't think this is okay. Bold words from someone whose soul just left his body. Then shouting, he says he's talking about the current game's FPS update. Hearing this, everyone present suddenly goes silent. While Fujimori starts explaining strange things about himself, that gaming is his hobby, he really likes certain kinds of games, and whenever a game update comes, it doesn't impress him much. He clearly states that he's quite good at FPS games. Then he adds that playing games isn't a bad thing. He plays because he enjoys it, and begins saying all sorts of odd things about himself. Hearing this, the boy standing near Kurumi can't understand what kind of weird things Fujimori is talking about, and he runs off. Watching all this, Kurumi sits back in her seat, blushing heavily. Some people flex muscles. Fujimori flexes patch notes. After saying all this, Fujimori is out of breath, while Yamamura insists that he never gave him such advice. At that moment, Kurumi turns, calls Fujimori's name, and thanks him. Seeing this, Fujimori panics, and from behind, his friend tells him that he has a chance to talk to her, but Fujimori is too stuck in his nerves and can't summon the courage to speak to Kurumi. He slowly extends his trembling hand, lowers his head, blushes, and asks Kurumi if she would become friends with him. Kurumi, perhaps waiting for this chance herself, blushes deeply upon hearing this. Smoothness level. Buffering indefinitely. She shakes Fujimori's hand, thanks him, and mentions his name, expressing her joy at him talking with her. Hearing this, Fujimori doesn't know how to react and panics badly. Then she pulls her hand away, apologizes, and declines the offer to be friends with him. She turns and walks away, leaving him standing there, stunned and blank. And just like that, character development meets a brick wall. After getting home that night, she arranges pictures of Fujimori like a conspiracy board and thinks to herself that she doesn't want to show her flaws because she wants to stay admirable in his eyes. So, in order to keep it that way, she cannot get any closer. She quietly praises every little detail about Fujimori. Deep inside, she feels overwhelming happiness. Today has been a joyful day for her. Meanwhile, Fujimori asks his friend whether talking about manga instead of games might have made her his friend. Clearly, the genre of small talk determines your entire romantic future. The next day at school, the teacher announces that the seating arrangement will be changed. According to the new seating plan, Fujimori feels incredibly lucky. His new seat is right next to Kurumi, but as soon as she sits beside him, Fujimori panics silently, telling himself to calm down. He wonders if this might be his chance to finally become friends with her. He tries to say something, even calling her name, but no words come out. In his heart, he keeps thinking that sitting next to her might give him an opportunity to get closer. Confidence level. Somewhere between a damp noodle and a terrified squirrel. Suddenly he jumps up from his desk and with full enthusiasm blurts out to Kurumi that he's looking forward to working with her. Immediately, his body stiffens, and a pin-drop silence falls over the classroom. Overwhelmed with embarrassment, Fujimori stammers, trying to explain himself. But before he can finish, Kurumi calmly says that she already knows everything. Ah yes, the classic scream your feelings into the void and immediately regret it move. The moment he hears her voice again, Fujimori feels like he could die from happiness. He finally got to talk to her again. He finds Kurumi's reaction incredibly cool and attractive. On the other side, Kurumi hides her face, blushing when she suddenly notices something. The classmate who always hovers around comes over, visibly annoyed, and tells Fujimori that he's jealous of him for getting the window seat. The boy stuck at the teacher's desk pressures Fujimori to swap seats with him. He reminds Fujimori that he embarrassed him a lot that day too, and now, as a favor, he might consider giving up his seat. Fujimori hesitates and the boy puts his hand out again, saying that someone like him shouldn't sit near Kurumi. Fujimori is taken aback, especially since Kurumi is sitting right there wearing her headphones. Kurumi tells them not to worry, explaining that according to the teacher's seating notes, anyone can sit next to her. She doesn't want anyone arguing about it, but the boy keeps pushing, suggesting that some adjustments should be made because it's better for everyone to sit with someone they're comfortable talking to. He claims that Fujimori sitting with Kurumi would only be a disappointment. The boy pressures Fujimori again and again, insisting that Kurumi would be disappointed if he didn't give up the seat. He argues that no one wants to sit next to a boring person like him, and urges Fujimori to hand over his seat number. He even tries to confirm this with Kurumi directly, but she remains silent. The boy continues to push, but Fujimori musters a bit of courage, and firmly tells him that he doesn't want to exchange seats. Fujimori tells him that he won't give up his seat under any circumstances, and apologizes. Hearing this, Kurumi blushes deeply, completely taken by surprise. And just like that, spineless protagonist unlocks a new skill, backbone. Unable to compose herself, Kurumi suddenly gets up from her desk and hurriedly leaves the classroom. Meanwhile, the boy is determined to snatch Fujimori's seating ticket and pressures him relentlessly. But when he can't find the seating slip in Fujimori's hands, he's left confused, wondering where it's gone. Just then, one of his friends drags him away, telling him not to bother Fujimori any further. Fujimori stands there, hand over his chest, realizing that he finally refused someone. Somewhere deep inside, his self-esteem just leveled up by 0.5 points. He turns toward Kurumi's desk, about to say something to her, only to find it empty. She's gone. While she's nowhere to be seen in the classroom, Kurumi is actually standing near the girl's restroom door, quietly laughing to herself and blushing. She keeps replaying Fujimori's words in her mind. "I won't give up in front of anyone." Each time she remembers it, she blushes even harder. In that moment, she repeats to herself that she won't give up either. What no one knows is that Kurumi has secretly taken Fujimori's seating arrangement ticket and kept it with her. Stalking? No, this is just advanced scrapbooking. With that thought in mind, Kurumi walks down the corridor holding Fujimori's ticket and his photo tucked secretly inside her handbook. She blushes deeply, lost in thought, when suddenly a girl asks what she's looking at. Startled, she quickly turns around only to see that it's her friend asking if she can take a look at the picture too. And now begins the world's most awkward show and tell. She is Tomomi Fukuda, a girl with naturally glossy hair. With her no-makeup look, her beauty shines brighter. Her charm feels effortless, almost as if she were a perfectly crafted doll. In class, Fukuda walks up to Yamamura and politely asks if she can borrow his colored pen. After handing it over, she thanks him with a soft smile. Yamamura quietly wonders if Fukuda might have feelings for him, but in reality, Fukuda is known in her circle as the introvert type. Translation: professional wallflower with main character aesthetics. Now Fukuda stands beside Kurumi, asking about the photo she's been hiding. Fukuda and Kurumi Yuka have been together since junior high, making her one of Kurumi's most precious and closest friends. In the middle of their conversation, Kurumi's notebook slips from her hands and Fukuda quickly bends down to pick it up. The moment she opens the notebook, Fukuda spots a photo of Fujimori tucked inside. Kurumi freezes on the spot. Even Fukuda can't quite make sense of why Fujimori's picture is there. She guesses that maybe Kurumi actually likes that four-eyed boy. But instead of saying it outright, she feigns cluelessness and casually asks if Kurumi just happened to pick up something someone else had lost. Denial. The first stage of realizing your best friend has questionable taste in men. But as soon as Fukuda notices Kurumi's expression, she's taken aback. She can't understand why her friend is reacting this way. Shocked, she blurts out and asks if Kurumi is actually serious about him. The real shock, however, comes when not just one, but dozens of photos scatter across the floor. Kurumi is speechless. Not a single word comes out except a faint gasp. Fukuda stares at the spread, stunned. She can't believe Kurumi has this many photos of the same boy. The realization hits her. This guy must mean something far deeper to Kurumi, because after seeing so many photos, she has no idea what's truly going on in her friend's heart. Some people collect stamps. Her friend collects reasons for a restraining order. A sudden silence falls over the room. Then Fukuda bursts out, her voice sharp and trembling, saying she simply cannot accept this. She turns to Kurumi and insists she should know her own worth. Out of so many people, how could she fall for that plain, four-eyed boy? The thought disgusts her. It feels almost frightening, and her reaction is swift. Kurumi fires back, asking if Tomomi actually likes plain boys. Fukuda explains that she only seeks an introvert who stands out, while the rest are nobodies to her. Kurumi doesn't really understand what she means. Then Fukuda insists she wants to see for herself what kind of person Kurumi's crush really is, because nothing says best friend support like conducting a full-scale background check. Kurumi grows uneasy, realizing Fukuda is serious about investigating him. She explains that it's fine as long as Fukuda only observes him from a distance. Meanwhile, Fukuda drifts into her thoughts about Yuka. She remembers how Yuka-san was her very first precious friend, back when everything was different. She recalls a time long ago when girls used to make nasty comments about her. Back then, she often hid in the restroom just to be alone. One day, while inside, she overheard those same girls gossiping. Kurumi was there too, quietly standing among them. The girls mocked Fukuda, calling her weird and claiming she used a fake voice to talk to boys. But Kurumi turned to them and asked why that should even be a problem. The girls tried to defend themselves by insulting Fukuda further, but Kurumi calmly said she believed Fukuda was fine the way she was. Remembering this, Fukuda reflects that Yuka was her very first female friend, and because of that, she wants to make sure her boyfriend is someone who will genuinely take care of her.